So what are those underrated foods that you definitely need to be eating on your next Disney vacation? Let's get into all of that right now. Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Alessa. Welcome to That Disney Girl. If you're new here, we talk everything Disney on this channel, and today we're going to be talking about all of those underrated foods at Walt Disney World that I feel like a lot more people need to be eating. And we did talk about the overrated foods at Walt Disney World previously, so I will link that video down below if you want to check that out and compare my thoughts to any of yours. But today, like I said, we're talking about underrated foods, so let's go. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm gonna be heading on over to Woody's Lunchbox, and if you go there at Hollywood Studios, I think that you should definitely be checking out the kids meal, and you should be getting the grilled cheese kids meal. This is good for breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you're an adult, no problem. You can always order a kids meal no matter where you are going, especially if it's quick service. If it's a table service restaurant, then it's gonna be up to the server, but a quick service cast member will always offer you and give you a kids meal option. So definitely check that out. It's like $6, and this is why I think it's so good. The grilled cheese is gonna be not healthy for you at all, but like covered in butter. There is gonna be 3 kinds of cheeses in that grilled cheese. You're only gonna get half of this, but this is why I love kids meals so much. You're gonna get tachos with it, so like these little crispy fried heavenly potato sacks of deliciousness. You're gonna get a little cutie, a little clementine, so that's really good. And you're gonna be able to get a drink, so you can get like milk, juice, water, something that comes with your meal. And if you're getting an adult combo, you're probably gonna be paying upwards of $13, and that's not even including a drink. So by getting the kids, you're paying $6, although it's a smaller portion. Perfect for like Disney size portions because you eat so much when you're on a vacation at Disney World. This will fill you up and not leave you feeling disgusting, and you're gonna be paying half the price and getting so much more. Next, I want to talk about mac and cheese at Walt Disney World because I think there are so many underrated mac and cheese options, and I'm gonna be focusing on 2, and they're both gonna be at Disney Springs. The first I'm gonna be talking about is at Homecoming. So if you've ever been to Homecoming, Chef Art Smith's Homecoming, you know that the food there is spectacular, so good. If I can recommend that restaurant as a whole, I definitely do. But if you're choosing a side, I strongly urge you to get the mac and cheese. I'm gonna pre-warn you that if you do eat the mac and cheese, you're going to feel like you are in a comatose state of like cheesy goodness, unable to move, which is gonna suck having to walk around Disney Springs after. But in the moment, it is like the best thing you've ever eaten in your life. It is by far, hands down, the best mac and cheese I have ever had. It has so much cheese in it. Like right now, you're probably seeing the cheese ooze and gooze. Is that even a word? I don't know. But it is so good. I dream about that mac and cheese. I wish I could have it every day, even though it made me feel like I was, like I said, I felt like I was almost on some sort of a high walking around Disney after, because I literally felt that full. And I couldn't finish this, especially with my meal, but it was so good, and I want to experience that feeling again so bad. But if Chef Art Smith is totally taken up by reservations, you can't get in there, try House of Blues. I think that this is definitely a very underrated restaurant as a whole, but their mac and cheese is also very good. You can also get this one as a side, or you can get it like on its own as a side sort of thing, and it's gonna be, I think, $7. It comes in a skillet, and there's nothing too special about this one. It's kind of more just like a creamy cheesiness inside of it, opposed to like real cheese being slathered on like at Homecoming, but it is still very good. This was my first like mac and cheese experience at Disney, and I've gotten it probably like 4 or 5 times now, and I think that it is very good. And like I said, that restaurant as a whole has some really tasty options, and it's often one that's not being booked up by reservations. You can often get same day or a walk-in reservation if you are going to House of Blues, so definitely check that out. Okay, but now let's head on over to Epcot. We're gonna go to the France Pavilion, of course. You can probably like see this one coming from a mile away if you know me at all. But at Les Halles, there are so many underrated snacks. I think that that place is underrated just in general as a whole. But if I'm gonna be pointing out 2 specific things, the first is gonna be the beignets. When people talk about beignets at Disney, I feel like the Mickey-shaped beignets are often the one that people go to right away. Those are gonna be at Port Orleans, and I think that they're good, but I don't think they stand a chance against the ones at Les Halles, because the ones there, to me, they're buttery, and the dough is so fresh and delicious, and on the inside, you're gonna get amazing pockets of Nutella, and Nutella and like good pastry dough is a match made in heaven, and one that will never like lose in my books. So that's why I think you should definitely get a beignet from there. And I also think that the Napoleon cake here is super delicious. If you love Napoleon cakes, I personally do, the cream here in that side of that cake, it tastes so good. It's not overly sweet, but definitely has like, will kick that sweet tooth for you. It's very flaky, it's gonna make a mess. Definitely eat this on top of a table, but it is so good. Okay, so the next food I want to talk about, I feel like we see these everywhere, but I also feel like it's not a classic Disney snack, and that's going to be the Geoffreys Donuts. So those are basically larger than life donuts with colorful icing and sprinkles on them. There is nothing too spectacular about these donuts, except I think that the dough is so fresh and so like buttery and airy. It's not too heavy, but it's also not too light. It has like that perfect blend. I really like the icing on top of there, and overall I think the flavor is super delicious. And if you're looking for a good donut to kick your sweet tooth, I honestly think you can't go wrong with this snack, and it's often a good price. I mean, they're like, what, $3? So definitely worth it. So this is gonna be a shave ice sort of meal, but I still think it's really good. If you're in Japan and you're looking for a drink, a lot of people are gonna get the violet sake, and that's something that's super popular, and I don't think that it is overrated. I think that it deserves the praise that it gets. But also, there is some shave ice with sake in it, and there's different flavors you can get, and I also think that it is super awesome because not only is it a drink, but you can eat the shave ice and it almost kind of becomes a snack. I definitely recommend the blood orange one. It's very good. There's a good amount of alcohol to like flavor ratio in it, and on a hot day to be able to sit there and eat some shave ice and like being refreshed and quenched and kind of getting a little bit of something in your stomach at the same time, I think that it is definitely a very good option and something that I think is definitely underrated. And another classic snack at Disney is gonna be popcorn. People rave about popcorn. There are their smellitizers, which are like machines that literally pump popcorn scents out into the air to make the guests want to eat popcorn because it gets your like saliva glands going because you're smelling the butter and the delicious salty goodness of popcorn. But I do think that there are other popcorn options you can get at Disney that are gonna be better than just your classic popcorn that you can get literally anywhere like a movie theater. At the Imagination Pavilion over at Epcot, you can get a $5 box of popcorn, and this is going to be flavored popcorn. So you can either get cheddar, buffalo blue cheese, or sour cream and chive, and these are going to be flavors you can't get anywhere else on the parks except for this specific pavilion in Epcot. So that just makes it a lot more special. I think that there is so much flavor on each individual little kernel, which to me, that's something that I really enjoy when I'm eating like flavor popcorn because I'm someone who loves big bursts of flavor, and I think for $5, you can't go wrong. So if you're looking for a different take on popcorn, these are going to be flavors you likely won't be able to get. I mean, like buffalo blue cheese, that's not even something you usually see at like a specialty popcorn shop. So in my opinion, give that a shot if you are a popcorn lover. Okay, now I want to talk about ice cream. Over in my overrated ones, I kind of bashed the Mickey Premium Bar. Not bashed it, but just said that there are better ice cream options, and I didn't want to mention it in that video because I want to talk about it in this video, and that's going to be over at Ample Hills, which you can get over at the Boardwalk Resort. If you're at Hollywood Studios or Epcot, you can take a boat on over to this resort. You can just visit it on your normal day. You can take the Skyliner over because it's basically like on Epcot property. But if you go to Ample Hills Creamery, you can get the ooey gooey butter cake ice cream, and it is one of the best ice cream flavors I have ever had. It is so rich and flavorful and creamy and thick, and something that I love about Ample Hills is that you can get unlimited toppings for free. It comes and is covered with the cost of your scoop, and the cast members here are always going to be overly generous. I mean, like my little cup ended up being like that big, and that was like a small. It was like brimmed to the top. I couldn't even finish it. It was so good, and I definitely recommend going out of your way to try this. And the last very niche meal I feel like I'm going to talk about is going to be over at Saratoga Springs. Saratoga Springs is a deluxe resort that I feel like gets a lot of flack as not being one of the most popular resorts. It's a DVC resort, has golf course there, really close to Disney Springs, but yet again, it's not one of the most popular deluxe resorts, and people don't usually love to brag about it, but I do think that they have some pretty decent food options, especially their quick service at Artist Point. For some reason, me and my family have a thing where we always end end up going to Artist Point for breakfast on some days. The restaurant itself isn't anything too grandiose or spectacular, and I don't know why we do it, but it's kind of like a tradition, and I really love the French toast there. It's kind of almost like a dessert style French toast. It's not just like a classic bread. It's almost like a cinnamon bun French toast, and there's gonna be fresh strawberries on top of there with some whipped cream, and then when you add maple syrup on top of there, it's like, it's so good. I always keep on getting it. It only comes with like the French toast itself. If you want to get sides, you have to pay extra, but I think it's like $7, and for breakfast, it's something that like I don't see at any other resorts, especially when we're talking about French toast options, and it's a different take on French toast. So if you really like French toast, I definitely recommend it. If you want to go out of your way and give it a shot, like definitely let me know what you thought about it. But if you are also staying at Saratoga Springs, then 100% hands down, I think that is something you need to try. But I also went to Instagram to see what you guys thought would be the most underrated foods at Disney, and a lot of them are going to be some that I may have discussed already, but we're just going to quickly scroll through. People talk about beignets being underrated. They're super amazing. I agree with you. I just like the ones at the France Pavilion better than the ones at Port Orleans. Underrated dill pickle. What is that? Dill pickle? Like, I know what a dill pickle is, but like, where do you just get a dill? Tell me where you get that. What is that food? Like, what is that specific Disney item? I want to know. Oh my god, someone said underrated, the snow cone from the Japan Pavilion. That is definitely that sake snow cone I was talking about. You can, by the way, get it without sake. I just chose to get it with sake, so I like that somebody actually said that. That's awesome. Underrated, the school bread from the Norway Pavilion, which is funny because in the overrated video, someone actually said the opposite, that it was overrated. Funnel cakes are underrated. I think like a good place to get a funnel cake, you can get it in the America Pavilion over at Epcot. Hollywood Studios has so many funnel cake options. I always smell that there. Underrated, the Rice Krispie treats. Like, that's like basically everything at the Main Street Bakery. I hear pretzels as overrated and underrated here, so whatever you think. My friend said the House of Blues mac and cheese because she's like, we love it. We love it so much. It's so good. Underrated for fried rice at Yak and Yeti quick service. So I've never had that before, but I've also seen a few people talk about that fried rice dish and saying that it's really good and that you get a lot of like bang for your buck. So maybe I need to give that a shot. Someone said that the Cheshire cattail at Magic Kingdom was underrated. I think that's funny just because I called it overrated in my other video, so sorry. Underrated, the Maurice Bagel Twist and Boysenberry Apple Freeze. I need to try those because I'm like kind of confused as to what they even are. I'm assuming the Maurice Bagel Twist, you can get that at Magic Kingdom, but the Boysenberry Apple Freeze, where do you get that? Let's find out. If you've had those, comment down below. Corn dogs are the best. They're underrated. I think that corn dogs at Disneyland are what is up. I remember when I was like 12 years old and I had my first corn dog at Disneyland. I sat on the pier and I ate this gigantic corn dog with my family, and I had never had a corn dog that tasted so good before. When people say that like Disneyland's corn dogs are way better than Disney World, once you have a Disneyland corn dog, you will understand, because that is like some homemade batter that it's just so good. It's so much more fresh, and it feels like the quality is way better. That's my opinion. We have tachos is something that's underrated. The Peter Pan float is underrated. Yeah, so we got a few more like repeats sort of here, and a lot of overrated items because I also asked the same question for my overrated video. But yeah, that looks like those are mostly what your opinions are for underrated snacks at Disney. You heard all of mine, and if you are watching this video and you think of one, definitely comment it down below. I would love to keep this discussion going. But if you liked the video, please give it a nice big thumbs up, and I love to get new subscribers and friends here. So if you love talking anything Disney, make sure you get that little subscribe button clicked and not red. It should look gray. But anyways, until next time, folks, I will see you guys real soon. Bye, everyone.